Hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome back
To
Now What?
I'm Tasha,
I'm Phoebe.
and we're just two girls in their early 20s trying to get by with very little money in their bank account, but the best of vibes.
Hell yeah.
Yesterday, we went and watched Smile.
We did.
Phoebe, what would you say about Smile? If you don't know, Smile is like the new horror film sitch that's like been very well marketed.
Very well
Like
marketed.
they have people like smiling in public places, and it's just like really freaky. Anyway, we went to see it yesterday with our friend Sam. Tell us about it, Phoebes.
So I think it didn't quite live up to what I expected it to be. And I know we had this conversation where it just wasn't as scary as the trailer made it out to be. And I think they exposed quite a few of their like jump scares.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which I think a lot of horror movies do to like entice you in. But then like don't give away your best ones or like what could have been your best ones.
Yeah.
Because then you're just like ruining that surprise for everyone.
For sure. But like also kind of thankful that they did, otherwise I would have shot myself.
Yeah, you're not a fan of horror films.
I am terrible at like anything to do with horror. I violently assault people near me, whether it's like a horror film, a horror maze, The Muppets Haunted Mansion, top 10 scariest films in the world.
Not scary.
I will die on this.
Okay, well you
argument,
can die
this hill.
alone on that hill.
I will.
Yeah, I know
it's a
you
terrifying. Okay, go right now. Watch The Muppets Haunted Mansion at like nighttime.
Biggest waste of your time.
Get back
Biggest
to me.
waste of your time.
It's terrible. I didn't get all the way through. Absolutely mortifying. Anyway, so me and Phoebe watched this thing called The Midnight Club yesterday. We just touched toes. That was really, really quite horrendous. Which was terrifying. We bonked heads very harshly. And then in the film Smile yesterday, it was like a silent and then a phone rang. And I was talking to Phoebe anyway, trying to talk to her about something. So my hand was like near her face.
Yeah.
And then the jump scare came, which is not my fault. I apologize, but not my fault. And my finger entered her eyeball.
Yeah. Okay. It stabbed me in the eye.
Yes, it, and I have rather aggressive nails. So I will apologize again, but also blame the film.
I'm not going to blame the film. There is no reason for your fingernail to ever enter my eyeball. I don't care how scared you are. There is no need.
But I don't have a choice over it when it happens. Like I can't help it. Like my whole body like flails out. Like I'm a really good person to scare.
You are.
I don't know why I do it to myself. Like I go to like scary things all the time and like watch scary things.
We do watch a lot of horror films, like considering you don't like them. Yeah.
I don't know why. I think I get the excitement. I like feeling excited. It's a bit too much for me. So overall, just Smile. Good. I would go watch it for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely worth.
I don't know if I'd go to the cinema and watch it. I feel like I'd wait for it to. But like being in the cinema watching a horror film is like 10 times scarier. Yeah, because you have like people around you being scared. Also, if you're watching this episode, I want to explain the situation that you're looking at. We didn't mean to be wearing matching uniforms. This was completely intentional. We said that we look like the cheerleaders out of like Riverdale or like a 70s American high school.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. But we look like we're like rival teams.
Yeah.
Because of the different colours.
That works though, I feel like. But like we didn't, like we came out and I'm ponytail, scrunchy if you're listening, and a turtleneck, and she's wearing the exact same turtleneck but in white with also a scrunchy ponytail. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
Neither would I.
This isn't the first time this has happened either.
No.
We do quite often wear matching clothes by accident. Yeah. Twin flames.
Don't do that.
I always want to bring attention to something that is really, really unsettling. And viewers, discretion is advised. Phoebe wears socks under her tights.
I cannot be the only person that thinks that the feel of tights, like the not like the normal like tight, what is it, like nylon tights? Like a nylon tight.
Yeah, it's nylon.
A nylon tight against your feet, like if you're wearing shoes on top of that, is disgusting. Like it feels as if I'm walking on like not even like it just, I don't know, like it's the equivalent of like the most uncomfortable thing I would ever feel.
I think you have horrible
issues. I do have quite a few sensory issues where it's like certain things like sponges.
What do you mean?
Like a sponge, you know, like a
washing up sponge.
Yeah, or just sponges.
Oh.
There was something else the other day that I touched and I thought that is worse than a sponge. And I didn't think I could get there. But I know someone else that has the same thing with sponge. So I know that it's not just me that has a problem with
Who?
tights. What? Who has a sponge problem?
Yeah.
One of my friends from boarding school. We literally
Maybe it's the
we
boarding
had a
school people.
full-on conversation about it. Maybe it's like I'm allergic to cleaning up.
No, you like cleaning up though.
I know, but I hate the sponge.
Weird. I feel like it's maybe just like the boarding school girls that are like, oh my god.
No,
like...
it was a guy.
Oh,
it wasn't a girl. I know.
Make it make sense. Yeah, I'm looking at your feet and it's making me like really upset because it's not even like I'd understand wearing tights and then socks over it if you're cold.
That would be so much worse. Are you closing your foot within the horrible feeling? Are you kidding? There has to be a layer. There has to be a barrier. There has to be a barrier.
That's so weird.
It's not weird. There has to be a barrier. It's unacceptable. Honestly, the thought of you walking around wearing, because I know you've done it before, wearing tights with a skirt and then heeled boots. Me thinking to myself that you're not wearing socks under those tights makes me feel violently sick.
I really want to understand where you're coming from.
Feral.
I want to understand where you're coming from so badly, but I can't. That makes no sense to me. You are so interesting. You are so this could be potentially the most interesting thing about you. But I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as a compliment. I know. There's a lot of weird things actually that you learn about each other. Like having lived with each other for so long, there are so many like weird things that you're like, oh, that's how you do that.
Yeah.
Have you got any of those for me that you think like, oh, that's a bit odd? Go on.
I actually can't think of any in front of the fact that you don't wear socks under your tights.
No, that is no. Don't even try it. You are the minority in that situation. No. That is so weird. Otherwise, they would design tights with socks inside.
I'm convinced they do.
We're gonna look that up later.
Yeah.
That's horrendous. I hope they don't.
I don't know. I can't think of any.
Oh, I do. I discovered how Phoebe sleeps.
Oh yeah.
She sleeps like a vampire.
Okay, no, I also have a problem with how you sleep though.
Why?
Why are you using every single pillow, every single like section of the bed?
Because if it's available to you.
No.
Yes.
No.
Phoebe
There's also such a thing as staying in your lane. And that is called sleeping.
What?
Yeah, you have to stay in your lane when you're sleeping.
No, because sleeping is like me time. It's different if I was sharing a bed with someone.
No, I bet you still do it when you're sharing a bed with someone. No,
well, I don't know. I wouldn't know.
I would.
You haven't?
I've shared a bed with you.
Oh, we have. Yeah. That was cute. Anyway,
was not cute.
Phoebe
in the face.
She did punch me. Actually, I want to go on to that story. So me and Phoebe recently holidayed in what a horrendous thing to say. We went to Turkey for a week.
Yeah.
And one night it was like 3 a.m. and I woke up to wait, I can't remember now. I woke up and Phoebe was like looking at me and I was like, Phoebe? And then she punched me in the mouth.
Tasha, I have a secret.
Wait, let me finish the story first and then you can tell me your secret, but I feel like I'm going to be upset. She punched me in the mouth and then I was like, why? I just said why? Because I was also just woken up and I was like, why? And then she just like, her face didn't move or anything. Like she was like asleep still. So I was like, okay. And I like rolled over and went back to sleep and I told her the next day and she was like, I don't remember that at all. If you're about to tell me that you were awake during that and chose to punch me in the mouth, I'm going to walk out.
No, I wasn't awake when I punched you because I don't remember that. But I do remember waking up when you asked me why. But I was so confused about what you were asking me why about. So I just sat there being like, what are you talking about? And then I just rolled over and went to sleep because I was so confused. And you told me the next morning, I was like, I can't admit the fact that I was awake.
We've spoken about this so many times and you've never told me that.
I know.
Are you joking?
No.
Fuck you, man.
I told my family about it the other day as well. I can't remember how it came up in conversation. And then I was like, actually, I wasn't asleep the whole time.
I'm pissed. As if So you were aware?
No, I wasn't aware
You've
that I
lied.
punched you. No, I wasn't.
You have blatantly lied to me for a good 2 months.
No, here's the thing, Tash. I wasn't aware that I'd punched you in the face. However, when I woke up and you were looking at me with a face of what the fuck did you
Of someone
just
that's been
do?
punched in the face.
Yes. I then thought to myself, I wonder what I've just done. But I didn't know how to respond, so I just didn't say anything. And I was still half asleep because I'd just woken up. So I was like, oh, I'm sure it's nothing. And went back to sleep.
That's not what I'm annoyed about. We've spoken about this many times since.
I didn't feel like I could bring it up to you.
Pissed. So pissed.
Yeah, well.
Wow. I'm reevaluating everything now. What else have you lied about to me now?
I haven't.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Else. I haven't lied about anything.
Only murders in the building.
That wasn't a
Phoebe,
lie.
we watched this together. We watched Only Murderers together, and it turns out she's gone off and watched it by herself. Can you believe it, guys?
I'm sure they can
believe it? Ridiculous. Anyway, so I learnt that Phoebe. Sorry, going back to our original point. Oh, sorry, I just hit the mic. Going back to our original point. Phoebe sleeps on her side of the bed, right? Dead still, on her back, arms crossed, like a vampire. Like how you would imagine Dracula in his coffin is how Phoebe sleeps.
That's
weird. That's weird, and you know it.
I like sleeping on my back, and it feels comfortable to either hold my chest or my stomach when I sleep.
You're odd.
It's just how it feels comfortable.
No, I get that, but
how
it's
does
weird.
It feel comfortable for you to sleep then?
Every position available. I move about. I'm doing cross-country sleeping. I like start on my side, then I go like on my front. I have like a leg up, then I'm on my back, then I'm like upside down. I'm all over the gaff. Like I'm like covering every inch of that bed.
If I can't sleep, then I'll sleep on my side with one leg out.
That doesn't make any sense.
How?
Because surely if that's like your comfort position, you'd start in that position.
No, like that's if I can't sleep, then that's comfortable for me. I don't know why, but my like if I'm really, really tired, then the most comfortable way for me to sleep is just.
You're so weird.
But if I'm like rolling about, tossing about the place, then it's on the side, one leg out, and I'm happy and I'm good.
So weird. It's like the other side of the bed will be untouched.
Yeah, like I climb out of bed in the morning and I just pull that cover back over and it's like I was never there.
I have to like do my duvet back up in the morning. It undoes. It like unpops it. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue. I've asked people that I've like shared a bed with in my lifetime what I'm like to sleep with. Apparently I do this. I go like Predator. I like click.
That's terrifying.
But as my body, I'm fine. I've only heard good things.
Yeah. Well.
Apart from the clicking thing. Or occasionally I'll be like, oh. Like a little sigh.
Oh.
But maybe
like a contented sigh?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm like, this is really good. This is
a good sleep.
This is a good slumber going on. So yeah, that's definitely something that I learned with living with you. Speaking of living with people, maybe we should talk about that. What's that like? Going from living at home, only living with your family your whole life, to then actually you're a bit of a different case because you of course went to boarding school.
I did.
So you kind of had the experience before, whereas I've only ever like lived at home.
Yeah, no, that's true.
At like my parents' houses, like separate houses.
Yeah.
And then gone to university. It's weird. It's very weird, I feel like.
I feel like my whole opinion on it is completely different to most other people's.
It would be.
But doing that at like 11 years old, weird. Really weird.
Did you not feel like neglected by your parents to be like, oh my god, they don't want me, like they've like shipped me off to some boarding school?
I don't remember ever feeling like that, no. So I'm gonna say no. Like my memory of going to boarding school wasn't like my parents hate me and they don't want me here anymore. It was more like, I know you would. It was more like, oh yeah, this is the school I go to now. Because it wasn't it wasn't like them deciding to send us there. Yeah. Because like it was, so they changed all me and my siblings' schools to go to the same boarding school. And they went to different schools before that. So my sister changed for sixth form when I was in year 7. Then my brother changed to start his GCSEs at the boarding school.
Right.
So we all went together. And I don't know, it wasn't like, oh, they forced us to go. It was kind of
They
like,
asked you each, like, do you want to do it?
yeah. And then like we went and saw the school and like did all of like the interviews and everything.
Did you get really homesick?
You know, it's weird. I didn't get homesick until the last like year and a half. But the first, like, I don't know how many years I was there for, 5. So like the first 3.5 years, I was fine. I was so chilling.
What's it like? Like, what is it like? Saint Trinian's Wild
No.
Child-esque, like,
No, I wish it.
what is it like? Just boring? Is it just like normal school, but like you sleep there?
It's a bit like a normal school. Like the normal school day is normal school, right? Like,
What?
like your school day is normal.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like 9 till 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
Then afterwards, like, you just stay there.
afterwards, yeah, you go back to your boarding house, and then you do whatever you want. So you could like go to town. Go to town. No,
You didn't have to get
So,
like chaperoned there.
no.
Mm.
So like you'd walk down with your friends. I actually never did that. I always went for a run after school, and then I would just ask
Fitness,
my, I know,
right?
fitness.
Go on.
And then I would just ask my like dorm mates if they could go and
Dorm mates. Can't imagine. No, they were not. Don't try to say flatmates.
No, I know. I didn't live in a flat.
Wait, you all shared a room?
Yeah.
That's so odd. I cannot. How many people?
4.
So you like saw each other's bodies?
No one saw mine.
So you had to like go to like what, the bathroom and change, or you just like got
Um,
so used with each other?
Do you know I can't remember?
Maybe you've blacked out
I
this
think I may have done.
terrible experience of boarding school.
No, I genuinely can't remember. I think we must have got changed in front of each other.
Did you share? Remember? Did you share a bathroom?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it was like they had like the showers in like obviously like cubicled showers.
Like gym showers?
No, like actual showers, but like in their own like sectioned off bits.
I don't think I understand what you're saying.
No, I don't think you do.
Like how, like swimming pools with showers.
But they're not like, because you know how in showers it's like it's literally just like a cubicle with a shower.
Yeah,
it's like a shower, so like how you have,
right?
But it's contained within a section.
Okay,
right?
Sure.
Okay, well.
So then you also had like girls and boys dormitories.
Yeah, so it was like a girl's side and a boy's side.
Did you like sneak into each other's dorms and like in the middle of the night?
Yeah. But like you weren't allowed to.
Oh my god, did you do it? You bad bitch. What? Tell me about that. What was that like? Were you really scared?
Was I really scared? No.
What did you do?
Oh my god, one time. I feel like I can't say this because I can't have my family know.
Just say it and we'll decide after.
Okay. So I went to go and see a boy that I was seeing at the time.
That you were like dating?
No.
You were just like casual.
Yeah.
Casual?
Yeah. And he was the year above, and this is when I was in year 11, so he was year 12.
Okay.
And he shared like an actual flat. It used to be one of like the house parents' flats, so it had like a kitchen, bedroom, shower, like own private bathroom.
I want one of them.
Yeah, I wanted one so badly.
How did you get it?
They didn't have any for the girls. It was only for sixth form students, and only some of them.
And boys.
Yeah.
Sexist?
Well, no, I can't remember. I think maybe one of the no, so the girls did get one, but then it was conjoined to another dorm. So it was like there were a lot of people living in that one, and I thought that's the literal worst thing I could imagine.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah, so I went, and I was like, we were,
getting down
to it. Yeah.
Got you.
And then all of a sudden there's like a knock at the door, and it's one of the house parents, and she was like, "Is anyone in? Can I come in?"
Ooh. And bear in mind, you're not meant to be in there.
Oh, I got told off when I went into my brother when my brother was there.
Oh no, what happened? Did she come in?
Yeah, so he was like, "Oh, give me 1 second," and he was like, "Go hide in the bathroom." So I was fucking hiding in this bathroom.
Were you naked?
No, I think I still had like pants and a top on.
Okay.
I grabbed my clothing, fucking ran into this bathroom. I was sat in like pitch black. My phone was on like do not dis- like do quiet, so it didn't make a fucking noise.
Good.
I was like trying not to breathe.
He comes back and you're dead.
Yeah. I was like,
and then what?
And then I was literally, they were having the longest conversation, and I was like, I'm literally about to pass out if I'm not able to breathe properly, because I was like taking really like shallow, short breaths.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't make a single noise, so I'd chosen like a position to stand in.
Yeah.
Instantly uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, my body is seizing up in this position if I don't like move my leg. But then I knew like my joints are like cricky.
But like, surely she wouldn't go into the bathroom. Like, what need would she have to go into the bathroom?
No, I know, but sometimes they did like dorm inspections or whatever. So he was getting told off as well, I think, at the time. And I was just sat there like,
lol,
this is fun. So I just like, I sat there and it felt like literal hours that I was there for. And then she was like, all right, well, I'll see you down at like the meeting later on, blah blah blah. And he was like, all right, bye. And then
you just like climbed out of the bathroom.
I heard the door close, and then he came around and was like, okay, she's gone now. And I was like,
did you continue?
No! No! It's like the biggest mood kill you could ever imagine.
But my brain is like, you're already there.
No,
she's not gonna come in again.
I was like, I'm gonna go.
How did you like sneak out? Were you like Mission Impossible, like rolling across the floor?
No, so basically it was across the like hallway from him was the year 7 dorms. So basically what I did is he would really quickly check that there was no one in the hallway and would be like, run. So I would just hold the door and run out. And then
this seems way too stressful.
It was far too stressful. But also there was like no other way of doing it.
Yeah.
Like when you think about it.
Also, I don't understand. Like I feel like this makes me sound like really like weird, but I don't feel like it is. Like, how do they expect you guys to not? Like, you're putting like puberty, what is it? Pubescent?
Yeah, pubescent.
Like kids who are like got loads of hormones and whatever going through their body, and then putting them right next to each other and then being like, but don't do anything.
Don't walk next
to each other. What do you expect? Like, what do you expect? Like, someone's doing something. Did anyone get pregnant?
No.
Someone got pregnant at my school.
Really?
She was friends with my brother, actually. And I remember she like came back for sixth form and she was like very much pregnant.
Oh. Well, in fairness, people may have got pregnant in sixth form. I just wasn't there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, that was so stressful. And then that wasn't the first or the last time that I ever went there. Like, I didn't learn from my mistake.
Of course not.
But it never happened again, so I was fine.
But I think it makes it like a bit more fun though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get caught. We're not gonna get caught. What would you get expelled?
Yeah. Because I remember one guy that I also then had relations with.
Whore.
Yeah. was doing the boarding side of it, because it was boarding and day school. So he was doing that, and he was in my year, and he was in a different boarding house. And he like one of his family basically like was one of the founders of the school, so he was like big deal,
of course, royalty.
And then like one time he got caught with a girl in his bedroom. Or like, no, there was a girl caught sneaking out of the window. Imagine that though, because you're like already out the window. I know. Oh no. And then basically he was like, I'm gonna get expelled. And then his dad spoke to the headmaster and was like, I will like pay a lot of money for my child to not be expelled. And they were like, so boarding school, by the way. And they were like, okay, we won't expel him, but he can't do boarding anymore. And they were like, okay, fine, we'll just wait. That's a bit dramatic. Like, I know. Like, calm down, you know? Yeah.
I don't think anything like that, like, nothing really happened at my school. I feel like some people like shagged in like the disabled toilets. Like, oh no, we had like they introduced gender neutral toilets. Right. When I was in sixth form, and then apparently like one of the boys in sixth form was like inappropriate with a year 7. Yeah. And then that got like changed very quickly back, because they were like trying to be like inclusive, which is great.
But
then like you can't, like, the weirdos are there.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna do something weird.
Someone is gonna do something.
I don't know if
weird.
he actually like touched her or anything, but I think he just like made her feel really
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
right.
Which also I can't imagine being a year 7 and then like trying to like have a wee and there being like an 18-year-old boy
Oh,
like
that'd be
waiting to use the toilet.
Horrible.
I feel like it's so interesting because we're so similar. Like we're really, really similar.
Yeah.
But we had such different like experiences growing up. Like I'm from like a divorced grammar school background of growing up in like Essex.
Yeah.
Whereas you are like
Families.
happily married.
Yeah.
Very family orientated.
Yeah.
Boarding school.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting how we like grew up so similar. Interesting. Maybe that's why we got on so well compared to like, what's his name? What are we calling him? I feel like that's why maybe we got along better than like either of us got along with Sebastian.
Yeah.
Because we are so similar in the way that like we were raised and stuff. Whereas he, like, some little things, and by no means is this me like hating on anyone or sending any hate or being like negative. I'm just like stating the facts.
Yeah.
Stating the facts. Like he liked things very specific and like would, like, if you were like having a conversation with him and like put your coffee cup down, he would like look at that coffee cup as in like, why is it not in the sink? And it would be like, because I just finished it. Or like he'd collect your stuff up from the lounge and put it on the stairs, which is like fairs. Like maybe I was making a mess and whatever.
Yeah.
But like, don't be my mum. Yeah. And like put my stuff on the stairs
just
for
like
me.
Ask.
Yeah. Or be like, Tash, like clean your shit up. And I could be like, shit, sorry. But also like, because that's like what Phoebe would do. Like if my stuff's everywhere, she'll be like,
Tash, come
dude.
on now.
And I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But like, that was like I had to learn that as well. Like I was used to doing that, and then I sort of like targeted my mess to my room if I was going to be messy. But I was like, the public areas stayed clean and nice, which I feel like that was like a big thing. But he would also come into my room and be like, this is disgusting.
Which it was at times.
But that's my room. Like I get to decide. Like if my like plates were in there or something, he'd be like trying to like make comments about that, but it'd be like, they're my plates in my room. Like I can do what I want.
Or you
like,
take them out.
Yeah. But then also you do that, I guess.
Yeah.
Like in third year when we were just living together, like we very much know. Like we're really good with living with each other now. Like pretty much I feel like we've got that down to a T. And Phoebes would be like, because she did a lot of the washing up compared to like when I did the kicking. I also kicked her every day cooking. She'd like go into my room and like get some stuff out to wash.
But I'd always ask you, I'd go, Tash, is there anything in your room?
We'd play that game. And I'd go, no.
And there would be like all of the plates.
Every single bit of crockery that we owned would be in that room.
And I'd be like, yes.
Good times. Good vibey times. It's important to do when you're young, I feel like, to live with different people.
Yeah.
To then like also learn not only about how to live with other people, but learn how like you function with other people.
Yeah, like how living with other people is for you. Yeah,
because it's very different to living with your family. And I feel like
absolutely.
I feel like going straight from, say, like living with your family to then like moving in a couple is like, you have no clue how that works or like what to do or anything. Like I feel like you need to live with like a few people and also by yourself at some point in your life. To like then eventually like settle down and like decide how you like your house to look, how you like to live, how's your routine, how's whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Definitely.
Which I think that's what uni is also good for. It's a good like stepping stone into like adulthood.
Yeah. Like actually like living alone and then like getting a job and like things like that.
That's kind of what I viewed it as.
Yeah. And it's also like, it's definitely like, although we've like now moved back home.
Sadly. Not in a mean way against my family, just in the way of like I'd much rather be living with you somewhere.
Yeah. I also feel like I still like live the way that I lived at uni, but just at home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I don't feel like I've changed how I live that much. But then I also don't think I changed that much about when I was like at home before.
But it's not. I feel like it's different though, because like in your house it's your own rules and stuff, whereas like I'm living in my dad's house and it's like I have to live by his rules and like how they want it to be, and like you can't argue against, like if they want their kitchen to look a certain way, I can't like decide it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you not have that?
Not massively, to be fair.
Why?
Well, because because the way that I have been raised is how I have then lived at uni.
Yeah, that's an
Do you know what
interesting
I
point,
mean?
actually. Yeah.
Like how my parents wanted the kitchen to look, and like how they then expected like my room to look, even though they never came in and like forced me to clean my room,
Mm.
but they would always be like, oh, just like, keep a clean room.
Yeah, it's kind of like programmed. You're like
Yeah.
programmed to like things the same way that they like it.
Yeah.
I think that's also quite interesting, because that's probably why I find it difficult, because I've had
Yeah.
like two different homes throughout as well, because like moving out of my childhood home to living with my mum to living with my dad to
Yeah.
whatever, it's always been like different rules for different people.
Yeah.
So I then sort of had to like create my own idea of what I liked.
No, absolutely. Whereas for me, it's obviously been very rigid for the last like 21 years. Not
Yeah.
like rigid even. Like my parents were quite
Just
relaxed.
constant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've kind of like built my own idea around what they.
That would be interesting to
done.
look at, actually, like the difference between people that have like divorced and married parents going to university and how their like experiences differ. Because I guess as well, like for me, I'm used to sort of like being between houses, like going to different locations and living out of a bag and whatever. Not I wasn't homeless, as in like I would like take my bag to like the weekend at my dad's and whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas people that say have only ever lived with their married parents the whole way through to then just be chucked into university.
Yeah.
That must be really scary.
Yeah.
Like really, really
But then
weird.
even when I was at boarding school, like with the kitchen, it was like there were nights where it was like a chart, almost like a chore chart, where people would like clean the kitchen after like we had like the dinner that they made there. So it was like, even then it's still like the kind of idea of like, oh, like keeping things a certain way.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know, it's really weird. I haven't ever actually thought about it.
No, me neither. That's and I don't really want to think about it. That's kind of stressful. But yeah, like with cleaning charts, like I remember first year our flatmate made one, but then just no one kind of stuck to it, because I feel like as well when you go to university you have this idea of being so independent, so then having like your like peer be like, you need to clean on this day, it's like, fuck like, you, no. Like, go away. No. Even in like our third year flat, I don't actually really know how that worked. Like it was never like messy, I don't think, like really messy.
Do you remember that one guy that came in to view the house though?
No.
You were the only one that was there.
And he was our third year place. Sorry, I meant to say second year. Oh my goodness, I forgot. Yes. So mine and Phoebe's apartment that we lived in for the third year of university, they were like, oh, we need like people to come in to look at it for when you guys leave to take over. And I was like, sweet, yeah, fine. Phoebe was at uni and I was at home. Mm-hmm. And this guy walks in with the estate agent, and like the estate agent lets him in. He walks in with his like motorcycle helmet. He chucks his jacket onto our couch, like his like trench coat. Then he like shoves his motorcycle helmet into the estate agent's arms and was like, oh, yeah, okay, I guess this will do. And like judged every bit of furniture that we didn't own.
No.
At our place, went into our room, started taking photos of like not just our rooms, but like things in our room, and then tried taking photos of me. And was asking me to like get into selfies with him, and I was like, no,
absolutely not.
And he was like, oh yeah, like I guess we can like maybe like knock this wall out. And the agent was like, no, like everything stays the same.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, like daddy will pay. And it was like, shut up.
Actually, get a life.
He like went into our kitchen. Bear in mind, we like religiously like cleaned that floor because it got gross. So like we cleaned it a fair amount.
Yeah.
Like mopped it.
But also, we're students. And most students don't clean their floor like every day.
No. And so he walked in and was like, have you even ever cleaned this floor? Yes. And then went through our cupboards and judged every mug we had. And was like, I hate this one. I hate this one. I like this one. And I was like, I don't care. Like the mugs don't come with the property.
Guess what? They're coming with us.
They are, very much so. And then he just went around our whole apartment, judged the way we had decorated, like my bedding, was like, I don't like that. And I was like, okay, you're not invited into my bed, so that's fine. And it was just like, and in the end he was like, oh, yeah, I guess we'll take it. Like daddy will like wire you the money. He never did though. He must not have, because our thing was like still on Rightmove or whatever for like a good amount of time.
Yeah. Which I do
Wonder
find
what
kind of
happened.
weird because it was a nice apartment.
It was a really nice apartment. It was just really hot. But anyway, what I was trying to say was that our second year place was, I don't think that was ever like really messy. But that was 3 of us living together. Was it?
I don't know. It did get messy sometimes. There was one time when it was just you and I, and Sebastian was away for some reason.
Oh no, this is because no, that's actually a really good point that you've just made that you haven't actually made yet. But I know I'm in your head, so I know what you're going to make. He basically, this boy that is fine. He made it seem as though like I specifically was the issue and I was causing all the mess. And I was like, not being funny, but I wake up at like 4.
Yeah.
I'd eat like 1 meal a day at this point in my life. And it was like, I'm not. And he was so adamant, like, you're causing all the mess. You need to be better. Like, blah, 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 blah. He then went away for like a week or so.
Yeah.
And it was just me and Phoebe living together. And the place was fine.
Yeah.
Spotless.
Never
great.
Any mess.
It never got messy.
Yeah. And if it did, then we would just clean it up in the day.
It just got cleaned up. And it's just like when
it never stayed messy for an extended period of time.
Not at all. Whereas we then made this known to him and he was like, no, you're wrong. And we were like, well, no. Like,
can't be.
When you cook, you use every single saucepan available and plate and bowl and fork and whatever. So then the sink is full of stuff. So then it may look like our stuff is like messy because it's on top of yours.
Yeah.
But it was like, there's not really much we can do. And like, I feel like we did clean a rather large amount. But he would just like...
Yeah, I mean, I know I would always clean up after myself. I wasn't going to clean up after him.
He also ate like many meals a day.
Yeah, whereas we would literally have like a single meal and then maybe like a snack.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't require any sort of cleaning up afterwards.
No, for sure. It was just like, it does get like tricky. Also, I wanted to bring up our bathroom situation. So it was we lived in a 3-bed house, but it had one bathroom, a single bathroom that was upstairs. And I keep forgetting Sebastian has IBS. Irritable bowel syndrome. Which is fine. Great. No worries, my friend.
For you.
You're okay. If I need to pee...
No, he didn't have IBS. He had Crohn's.
Oh, he had Crohn's disease. Yes, of course. And by no means are we like saying this is bad or anything like that. Like, no. I want to make that clear. If you have Crohn's, I feel for you. That sucks. And like, sending you my love. But if you know that you have... This is going to sound so bitchy and I really don't mean it to be. But I just...
If there are triggers...
If you know that if you eat, for instance... cheese, milk, whatever else, and you know that sets you off and you are going to occupy our one bathroom for a large amount of time, don't eat that stuff.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Don't
eat a whole block of cathedral cheese. You know?
I get it. I love cheese.
But if I knew that messed me up, I'm not going to consume it.
No.
But he would regularly and would just destroy our bathroom. And it would be horrible.
Yeah.
Like it was, I just think that's so like not selfish, but selfish, you know? It just is. Because then you'd be like, oh, I really need to go in there. And it also like, it's its own fault. It had like no ventilation in that bathroom.
Yeah.
So any sort of smell, whether it be
just like open the window and
good or
hope for the
bad,
best.
it lingered.
It did.
It lingered real good.
Oh, she lingered.
And it got to the point where you'd be like, oh, please, can I just have a wee before you go in there?
For the love of
Which
God,
then is so unfair on him that he has to like hold it in, like he has a disease.
Yeah.
But yeah, as much as that was bad, we also have admitted since leaving that flat that we were probably out of order regarding the room situation. Which we didn't think of at the time. But since then...
I've been a bit like,
Because basically there was one like big room, right? Big room, but it overlooked the like high street, Exeter High Street, like the sex shop, like not very good views. You got a lot of like road traffic noise through the window, whatever. Then there was like the second biggest bedroom that was like overlooking
like a church and like this really nice little like allotment area that
essentially
was like,
there were like cherubs flying around and like it was always sunny. Like my side, I was in the biggest bedroom, it was raining, stormy all day long. You go to Phoebe's bedroom,
there's like sunset, these like, in my opinion, like olive, like a Roman vineyard.
Yeah, she had like birds helping her get dressed in the morning, like Snow
like
White.
A fairy tale.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And then Sebastian, sadly, had the smallest bedroom, which was essentially a bed in a room.
Yeah.
It had a bed and a wardrobe, and like the door essentially opened onto the bed.
Yeah.
And that was mean.
It was
but
mean.
also
It was really
one
mean.
person had to have that room, and he was redoing second year. So no, first year.
First year. So basically, our argument was you left us in first year because he basically like ended the course and then moved on to a different one. But instead of finishing the year doing the course that he was doing, he just like ended his year and then came back for the next year. So he left after the first term.
And also, he was like going to have 2 more accommodations after that, whereas this was going to be our second.
Last, yeah.
Yeah. So we were like, you have two more shots after this to have good bedrooms, whereas we only have 1. So that was our argument. But we have now realised, and if you ever listen to this, we do apologise.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that.
We should have paid more than you, for sure. Like, our rooms were significantly better, and like you did live in like a closet. So the reason I bring this up is because like if this is your case and you're going to university, bring that into like, because that also means that if say you can't afford stuff, like say that you're like less financially like able than your fat mates, you take the smaller room. Yeah. And then you pay less. And then if you can afford more, you can get the bigger room, which is sad, but like it makes it easier for the person that maybe can't afford the most.
Yeah. Other than the fact it makes it like blaringly obvious to that person, everyone else. Yeah. Which would suck.
But that's also just like, you've got to be like really real when living with people.
Yeah, no,
like,
that's true.
They're going to see you at your lowest and your best. So yeah, we did feel, but also my room stunk of piss like 90% of the time. So
mine was actually great. It was
you
a
had
good
an
size
amazing room. Yeah,
great view.
I thought I was coming out on top with my big room. I was not. It was bad.
I really enjoyed my room there, actually.
She was also like away from me and Sebastian, like our rooms connected.
Yeah.
But she was sort of like away from us. She was next to the bathroom, so it means that you could like hear the bathroom.
Yeah.
I dread to think what you heard.
AirPods in.
You did mainly have your AirPods in.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was bad.
It was a low from us.
We do apologize.
Yeah, that was
we do
really
apologize,
bad.
Sebastian. That was our bad.
But then also, this again probably shouldn't go in, but he did also try and make me swap because he claimed that I wasn't ever there.
Oh yeah,
just because I was going to see my boyfriend.
No, oh my god, do you remember this though? He turns out he was like bitching about both of us to the other person.
Yeah,
he basically came into my room and was like, "Do you not think that I should have Phoebe's room because she's rarely ever here?" And I was like, "How do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, she has a boyfriend now, and she's there like, you went like once a month, I reckon."
Yeah,
to go see him, and so she's like rarely here.
But I would only go for like 3-4 days, and like majority of the time I was there. Like I was at uni, like in the house.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So he would be like, I think we should just swap. At one point, he was genuinely like, the next time that she leaves, I'm just gonna like swap all of our stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think that's a good decision. Like, definitely have the conversation beforehand if you want to do that, and like speak to her about it. But you know that's gonna go badly.
Yeah, and he never ever brought it up to me. Like he never ever said it to me. He only ever said it to Tash. Which I wouldn't have entertained the conversation anyway because I really liked my room.
Yeah, for sure. But he did this constantly, like, and I think this is so bad if you're like in a if you're in an odd person household, don't do this. He would like bitch about either of us to the other person. But obviously we're like best friends.
Yeah.
We tell each other everything that ever happened in that household and in general. So then we'd like, you know, share notes and be like, oh yeah, he's saying this, and she'd be like, oh, that's really weird because he said the exact same thing about you and whatever else. Then we'd be sitting there like,
what is going on?
Fuck this guy, man. Like,
yeah.
But the thing is though, we were very like accommodating. Like, even there was these chest of drawers downstairs that were for like the lounge, and we were like, no,
that's accommodating.
Yeah, it was. No, because those could have been like a public thing, but we were like, no, put your like jumpers and stuff in there.
Yeah,
didn't we? And also there was a bookshelf that was in my room.
No, it was in my room.
In your room that you were like, I'll move it downstairs and you can like use the bookshelf. That's nice. We could have not done that.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like that's like the bare minimum that we could have done, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. But if anything, we taught him how to be minimalist. Maybe. Were we the problem? I feel like we weren't.
I think we may have been. I've never seen us as that bad.
No, like that was not. We were the okay. We would be the problem if we said no, you can't use that because it's a communal area.
Yes. But I also think to say that we were accommodating might be a bit of a stretch. Would you agree to that?
No. No, because we were like we tried to make it as nice for him as possible. He would be like, "Oh, I hate my room," so we'd both go in there and be like, "How can we move this around to make this nicer for you? Like, how can we make this more spacious?" We'd help him like move stuff or like choose different like bedroom decor.
Yeah.
We'd like tried like really hard to make sure that he didn't feel like low in that room.
Yeah. No, I guess.
I feel like we did. But speaking of that room, that man had so many visitors that I don't think the room was ever an issue because it was constantly full of people.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm glad that we had our rooms because we had to spend a lot of time in our rooms to avoid said people.
Yeah.
He Sebastian is gay.
Yeah.
And so he was what's the app called?
Grindr.
Grindr. He was on Grindr a lot. Big fan. I think he could be like one of the ambassadors for Grindr.
Yeah.
Loved a bit of Grindr. But it meant that we constantly had like strange men in our house. And like we would have to speak to them.
Yeah. Like make the awkward chit chat where it's like you're down in the like kitchen afterwards.
He'd be like upstairs like getting ready for the night or whatever. And then we'd be there like, so
how are you doing?
What's your name? Are you Stephen? Oh no, Stephen was the other one. Oh,
yeah,
you're
sorry.
Not like slut shaming at all. Like honestly, big ups. Like you do you. Like we celebrated it the entire time, but it did just mean like a lot of our nights were like taken up by this. And one night in particular, me and Miss Phoebe here were in my bedroom, on my laptop doing something I don't really know, and my bedroom door swings open. And a naked man walks in and is like, "Oh, hey, thought this was the bathroom." And we were like, "Not, it's not." And he was like, "Oh." It was so, like at that point, be like, if you thought this was the bathroom, be like, "Oh shit, not the bathroom."
I'm so sorry. Let me get out.
He then proceeds to stand in my doorway, butt ass naked, and then was like, "So, like, do you guys want to get involved?"
We were like.
And we were like, no. By this point, Sebastian's come out of his bedroom and has been like, what are you doing? And he's been like, oh, I just thought. And Sebastian was like, no, like, no. And we were like, no. And apparently the entire time that they were like spending their night together, he kept bringing up like,
do your roommates want to get involved?
Like constantly.
Yeah.
And Sebastian was like, no, I don't. I really do not. And that was like some of the nicer ones. Like other times he'd be going to meet some of them outside, like on the streets to like bring them. Wait, no, that sounds like a prostitute. He'd be like on the streets of Compton. He would like go out to like bring them to our place. It was kind of hard to get to.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't want to go alone in case he like got kidnapped. So we'd go with him and like walk a few meters behind to like check that he didn't like get stabbed. And then as I'd start to walk back, we'd have to sprint back to our house and like get there just before they did to like lay on the couch being like or like to make his room nice. Like many times he'd be like, I'm bringing someone back. And we'd have to like empty his room out into our rooms and like hide all the weird things and whatever. Just so many weird stories like that happened.
So many.
Another time he went on a date with that guy. And so we went on a date as well. But we got sat like so that you could see them through a window.
Oh, it's so bad.
That was so awkward. And we were like watching this date and Sebastian could see us and would occasionally be like chatting to the guy and then like flash us a smile. But I wouldn't have been able to keep my cool.
No,
I would have been like, I'm really sorry my friends are sat over there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like that was really bad.
I could not have done that.
Can you think of any other? The reason we got Life 360.
Oh, yeah.
This was a particularly low moment for Phoebe and I.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was real bad.
Sebastian had been talking about this guy and was like, guys, I'm meeting up with this guy tonight. I'm going to go to his house. He's just really weird. He gives me really creepy vibes. Like, I don't really know. He's kind of boring. He's really ugly. Like,
yeah, like talking like quite lowly of the man.
Bad things.
Yeah.
But like still saying, but I'm going to go see him. And then it reaches that point. We hear the front door go. So we're like, oh, he's gone to do what he's going to do. So me and Phoebe are chatting and it's been like a fair amount of time. And we're like, he's not returned.
Yeah, and he hasn't like messaged us to be like, oh, like I went out to go get a coffee afterwards.
We called him. He wasn't picking up his phone or anything. So we were like, this is really bad. And at this point, Phoebe's upstairs, I'm downstairs. So we're yelling to each other, saying, no, he was saying all these really dodgy things about him. He was saying he was really creepy and like all this stuff. Like he was way too ugly to be messaging Sebastian. Like we were saying all the bad things that Sebastian had told us. And then we get a little text through on the group chat saying, shut the fuck up. We're both in the house. He can hear everything you're saying. To which we both just go, oh. And Phoebe runs downstairs, we go into the lounge and we're like, no.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
And apparently this guy then like just was like, I'm going to go.
Yep.
And left. And Sebastian was like, what the hell? And we were like, we thought you had gone. And he was like, no, like, I think last minute they decided to come to ours or something.
Yeah, we
were like, this is bad. Like, and so we all downloaded Live 360, which is like an app where you can track each other.
Yeah. So
that we could always know who was in the house at any given time, and also so that if he was missing, we could find him.
Yeah.
But that was
such a low moment.
So bad for that boy.
Honestly, I would never show my face again.
We were saying bad things,
saying horrible things.
Because Sebastian had told us really bad things about this guy. That was a really low moment. In like comparison to other uni students, we didn't go out that much.
No,
not really. Like we really valued a night in, which makes us sound really lame.
Yeah, but it was like every time we would go out, we would have the weirdest situations.
Just weird. This is what I mean. Weird things happen to us all the time, and they'd be funny and interesting. But like, it'd be like once is enough for the week because it'd be like so many weird things would happen.
Yeah,
that you'd be like, that's like, good.
Count the cameras. Let me go sleep.
Another time that is one of my personal favorites. Purely because I ditched it halfway through.
My least favorite, genuinely my least favorite memory. It's horrible.
We lived really near, and if you live in Exeter, you'd know what this is. A bar called the Monkey Suit, and we were there one night. It was during like lockdown, where it was like kind of open, but like you couldn't socialize.
Yeah, it was like the first summer that we actually had after all of the lockdowns.
Yeah. And so we were on like a table away from people, and there was this big table full of like grown men of different ages.
Yeah.
And they'd been like, oh, like, can you come over here for a second? I have to ask you a question. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no. And they were like, we'll buy you a drink if you come over and ask this question.
Yes.
Say less, you know?
Get me the drink.
So I've gone over, I'm talking to them and like been a bit friendly. They've like bought me a drink, whatever. Then bought like you a drink, not Sebastian a dring.
Yeah.
And whatever. We like kind of like throughout the night we'd like have casual conversations with them across the thing. It then got to like the end of the night, we're leaving, they're leaving, we've gone out, and like a few of them have waited around, and they're like, what are you doing after this? And we're like, oh, we're going home now. And they're like, oh, okay, it's just that like we don't want the night to end, but the last train is now, like blah blah blah.
And they're like, we have nowhere to go if we miss the last train.
Yeah, but we don't. And like, we really like you guys. Like, we're such cool guys, though. Like, we're really good guys. Like,
just they were like, oh, the other people were really weird. Like, some of those guys, like, you can't trust them. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't trust anyone.
Oh yeah.
I'm not trusting a single person. I want to be in bed sleeping.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. But oh no.
Some context as well is that they were like army people.
They were like, I think they were in the Navy.
Yeah, something like that. So they were like stationed. There's like a
army barracky type thing
in Exeter,
like just outside.
It got to like a few of them, and they kept like dwindling the more we were chatting outside, chatting outside. And in the end, it was like two of them, and their names were, one of them was Morgan,
yes,
and the other one was like Staples.
Do you know what? I think I still
Scooter?
have them on.
I do too. I have his WhatsApp. Sorry, we've had a readjust because we were trying to look up the name, because we do have his WhatsApp. His name was Splinter, so it was Splinter and Morgan.
Yes.
Splinter was older than Morgan
by like a fair bit. Like Morgan looked like he could be our age, if not like just a bit more.
But both just weird. Splinter was like so weird to be like Splinter, by the way, as if that's a normal name. I don't know why I'm like hiding myself. I just want to keep it on the chair because it's like part of, I don't know. He was like weird, and also every time you asked them something about the army, Morgan was like, don't ask him about that, like you never ask someone about that. And it was like, then why are we talking? That's all I want to know about, you know. So in the end, me and Sebastian were substantially intoxicated. I feel like you were a little bit less.
Yeah,
you were the voice of reason. And so we were like, oh, come back to ours then. Like, that's fine. We have some more drinks at ours. So these two people end up coming back to our house. And it just got weirder and weirder the longer the night went on. They missed the last train by this point. We've given them some...
The next one wasn't until like 7, 8 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'd like locked in for the night.
Hours until there was relief.
Yeah. So then at one point, like, we're on the balcony as well, like all looking out. And then we come back in and I go to Phoebe, that Splinter guy like had his hand on my ass the whole time. And she was like, me too. Yeah. And it was just like he was touching up everyone and just was like, we really should have asked him to leave, but we were also scared to then be like, can you get out of our house? Because they were like trained, like, I don't know, murderers.
It's funny, imagine if someone had thought about this before the whole situation happened. Oh wait, they did. And yet they were outvoted. Imagine.
In hindsight, should have listened to Phoebe.
In hindsight, we should always listen to Phoebe. That's the most ridiculous thing.
That's not true.
No, that's always correct.
Okay. Anyway, so we're like, it just getting weirder. We're like watching like How I Met Your Mother, all in the lounge. Splinter's giving Phoebe a foot rub. It's Phoebe's giving Splinter a foot rub back. And it's all just really weird. I was also getting really stressed out because again I have anxiety issues, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have a panic attack, and this is a really bad time to have a panic attack. So I've gone upstairs to try and calm myself down. Not working out too well. So I drop Sebastian and Phoebe a little message saying, guys, do you mind if I like go to bed? I feel like this is gonna be a bad time. I just need to be asleep right now. If you need me to be down there, let me know. I'll come back down, or I'll leave my phone on loud so you can call me if anything happens. And both of you were like, that's fine, don't worry about it. Because like I'm pretty sure Morgan by this point was asleep.
Yeah, he was.
And Splinter was like...
In fairness though, far more threatened by Splinter than I was Morgan.
Yes, very much so.
Morgan was actually quite a nice guy.
So then I've gone to sleep and left them to it. And then, of course, I'm unconscious at this point. So this is all Phoebe.
So at this point, Morgan had fallen asleep next to Sebastian on one sofa. And I was sat next to Splinter on the other one.
What a horrible sentence.
And so I was just sat and, you know, trying to enjoy whatever it was we were watching. And then he like takes my foot and starts like giving me a foot rub. And it's like, do you mind? Like, it just really helps me relax.
That makes no sense.
It makes no sense. He was like, it's just like, it really helps me to just do something with my hands. And I was like, I actually do mind. Yeah. I was like, I have a boyfriend.
For a little bit though. A little bit. But then,
a nice foot rub.
Yeah.
And I was like, I do mind because, you know, stop touching my feet.
Water exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
I keep saying this. I keep thinking you're saying water.
Water?
You don't how pronounce the L.
Walter.
Yeah, that's better. Not Walter.
I'm from Essex.
He then returns my foot to me. And I'm like, okay, great. Then a little bit of time goes on. Then picks my foot back up again. And he's like, starts rubbing it again.
Don't deprive him of his stress relief, okay?
And I was like, can you stop doing that though? No, but then his hand starts going a little bit further up.
Yeah.
And I was like, stop it now.
That old chestnut.
Stop it. But again, he's like a 35, 40-year-old man, like in the army, much stronger than I, who was a little, at the time, 19-year-old.
Yeah.
girl, like, no. Bad vibes all around.
The sun is by this point coming up now.
Oh yeah, fully risen, and I'm just thinking, give me that 7-8 time, please. Finally, like, the time comes around. It's been a horrible evening. And they leave and they're like, thank you so much, we had such a good night. And I was like, that was the worst evening of my entire life. I've never enjoyed an evening less, ever.
How sad are their lives that was the best night of their lives?
Makes me so upset.
So weird. It was so weird.
Yeah, no, that was awful.
Yeah, guys, don't invite people back to your house that you don't know and who are significantly older and also a part of the army. Yeah. Not being like army phobic or anything, but like, you're typically not great people.
Yeah, like I spoke to a friend afterwards. Like, I can't remember when it was, but it was like a fair bit. I don't know, sometime afterwards, and I told them about the story because I was still rattled by it all. And he was like, yeah, no, you just like don't do that. He was like, army people are like always not good dodgy to have in your house. Yeah. And he was like, especially if they were like two older guys. And you have 3 people, 2 of which are guys, 2 of which are girls, 1 is a gay man. And I was like, I know, I didn't want it.
Nah. Moral of the story: don't invite people back to your house.
Yeah.
And Phoebe should learn that story better than anyone because she invited them back to the house.
I did no such thing.
Because that could have gone way worse.
Oh, it could have gone way worse, yeah.
Way worse.
Yeah.
Like, definitely could have died.
Yeah.
Like, also, why did they want to do that? Like, why did
no idea.
2 older men want to just spend time with these random people that they just met and like go to their house and sit and watch How I Met Your Mother for like 10 hours?
So weird.
Why? That's what I really want to know. I want to know what their intentions were.
Send him a message. You still have his WhatsApp?
No, I think he would find my location somehow.
Oh, absolutely.
He's
in the army. Of course he would.
Maybe, I can't imagine he is anymore. No, because wasn't he kicked out of the army and then went back? I'm sure that was no. I'm sure something happened.
Tash, again, I've tried to.
No, I know.
To blank it out.
Weird parts of that are coming back to me now, and I remember him. Like, he got demoted.
Right.
That's why he was so much older than them, because he was demoted because he did something dodgy.
Right. Okay.
I remember when we found that bit out, we were like in our dining area, and we were like,
"Get out."
Ooh.
Actually, I was thinking that the entire time. Get out.
Only at this point did it become a bad decision.
Wrong.
Luckily, it was all fine and good. Just, a bit of lack of sleep. And we're here to tell the tale.
A bit.
There's a positive spin on it.
Yay!
What a way to end the podcast, though.
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
A bit of a what's that? What's it called? Like a fable? Is that what they tell, like, the warning stories?
Yeah.
Is it a fable?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, a fable for you there.
Fable.
Thank you guys so much for listening to our 3rd episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something
Had a good time.
I feel like this is mainly just a podcast to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
Never do what we do.
No.
Because often
happen.
Often the very wrong decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Tasha.
I'm Phoebe.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.